This is me before getting serious with training 12 years ago at 68 kilos barely. This is me, 74 kilos at my best physique 5 years ago. 3 years ago at 72 kilos after not training that seriously for a while. 2 years ago at 78 kilos after getting back at it for a year. 1 year ago at 88 kilos after training my ass off, well, on a dirty bulk though. 10 months ago at 76 kilos after an aggressive cut. 8 months ago at 79 kilos after having kids. And this is me today at 85 kilos after a proper lean bulk. Here's the thing. Somewhere along the way, social media fitness convinced us that you can build serious muscle while staying photoshoot lean year round. Which doesn't work since you're missing a critical step. Bulking has been around since bodybuilding became a thing for a reason. It works, even if like me, you don't care about looking like a bodybuilder, but you still want to build your best natural jacked physique. It is still a necessary step. In today's video, I'll share with you everything you need to know about bulking, how to do it right so you don't just get fat, including both diet and training. Plus, I'll show you how to do all of this without even joining the gym, because who has the time for that anyway? Check it out. Now, if you're already overweight and unhappy with your body, bulking will just make things worse. This is why step 1 is always leaning down first until you get as close as possible, somewhere between 10 to 12% body fat. Plus, the other cool thing is that if you haven't trained consistently in a while, you can also build muscle while dropping fat during this phase. Just keep in mind that this newbie recomposition effect doesn't last more than 3 to 6 months. Too much sun for my ginger face. That being said, here are 3 more reasons why you want to first cut and then bulk. Number 1 is how, when you're lean, your body is in a better position to maximize muscle gain while minimizing fat gain as you start to bulk. Not that you won't gain any fat at all, that is impossible, but it will still keep it to a minimum. Number 2 is how this allows for a longer period to bulk without getting up to unhealthy body fat levels, which is important since if you want to perform a serious bulk, you need to stick to the process for at least 6 months. Lastly, but not leastly, you can get pretty close to the end of your bulk while still looking decently lean rather than looking plain fat. My personal rule of thumb here is not going over the point where you can't see your abs anymore when flexing. By the way, if you're new here and you like my no BS gymless approach to getting naturally jacked, then first of all, subscribe, click on the notification bell, but also download my free beginner's guide, Bodyweight First. This is how I've built 80% of my best results. And if you want to support the channel, also check out the recommended equipment. You can find links for all of these once again in the top comment and description of the video. Being on a bulk doesn't mean that you get to eat whatever you want and gain as much weight as possible. 80% should still come from whole foods, ideally home cooked, such as red meat, whole eggs, high-fat yogurt and cheese, fatty fish, raw nuts, olive oil, white rice, potatoes, quality bread, and if you struggle to keep the weight gain consistent, also add some extra pasta, dried fruit, fruit juice with your meals, double your healthy fats, and add a daily weight gain smoothie like the one you'll find on your screen right now. When it comes to supplements, you want a gram of creatine per 10 kilos of body weight. And lastly, a whey protein powder can also be a good way to flavor your smoothies and help you out when you're struggling to hit your protein intake. In terms of weight gain, you don't want to be gaining more than 1% of your total body weight. This means experimenting with anywhere between 200 and 300 calories. For example, after being on a 300 calorie surplus during the last 8 months, I've gained a total of 6 kilos, averaging 0.7 to 0.8 kilos of weight gain per month, which is right at that sweet point. Especially if you take into account that I'm no longer a beginner, that I'm 40 years old, that I had twin baby girls in the meanwhile, and all the stress that comes with. I would say that this is as perfect as it gets. when it comes to tracking, make sure that you compare your weekly average weight, since daily fluctuations can be confusing. Plus, bad sleep, high stress days can also affect this, which is why we track all these details when we coach people online. Of course, this is just step 1 of the process. Step 2 is actually losing the fat so I can see what is happening underneath there, what kind of progress has taken place. I'll be sharing more about this the coming months. Still, the fact that I've improved on all of the exercises that I've been focusing on during these last 8 months is already a pretty good sign. Just because you're eating more doesn't mean you're going to gain muscle. So, other than upping the calories, this is also the best time to up your training. And if you're not sold on bulking yet, here are the benefits you're missing. The surplus energy allows harder training, but also makes progressive overload easier. The extra calories combined with a consistent high protein intake give your muscles the building blocks to repair and grow more effectively after training. And because your joints are more cushioned and lubricated, they also handle the extra workload with less problems. Personally, I like a higher volume and more moderate intensity approach while bulking, which brings your training up to about 4 hours per week. You can still cut this down to 3 hours of high quality strength training, but you don't want to go lower than that. In that case, you're going to have to up the intensity. In terms of exercises, you want most of your training focused at covering all the essential human movement patterns. Your best options here, if you want to train without the gym, being the following. For your horizontal push are weighted push-ups and chest dips, or even better, a combination of both. For your vertical pull, go for pull-ups, which can be done assisted if you can't do them full bodyweight yet. When it comes to horizontal pulling, your best choices are rows, whether you do them on gymnastic rings or with dumbbells. When it comes to overhead pressing, my favorite combinations are the one-arm shoulder press and the classic barbell press. Still, pike push-ups and handstand push-ups work just as well if you don't have weights. Next, you want a combination of double and single-legged squats. Here, you can do Bulgarian squats and toe squats if you want to keep it bodyweight, or heel elevated squats and split squats if you have a pair of dumbbells. Lastly, for our hinge, my favorite option here are Romanian deadlifts, but you can also do hair-up curls if, again, you don't have any serious weights. Lastly, if you have the extra time, you can also throw in some isolation work for lagging parts like your arms and abs. My favorite add-ons here being wall leaning bicep curls with dumbbells or ring curls if you want a more bodyweight option. For triceps, in my opinion, nothing beats pike skull crushers on a gymnastic ring. And for your abs, I like a combination of leg raises and ring rollouts. Lastly, recovery is as important as training and nutrition, whether you're cutting or bulking. And although a lot of people try to overcomplicate this topic, I believe that it really boils down to 2 things. Number 1 being sleep, aiming for anything south of 7 hours. If you can get even closer to 8 hours, even better. Here I'm gonna admit that this is definitely not my strong suit. Rather, I would say that this is more of my Achilles heel, since I haven't been able to average anything more than 6 to maybe 6.5 hours during the last decade. But during the last months, ever since I started focusing on a 3-step recipe that I'll be sharing with you, I've been doing a lot better. Step A is a magnesium and B6 supplement 30 minutes prior to bed, which has made a big difference for me. Step B is at least 30 minutes of reading a relaxing physical book. And step C, the moment your eyelids start to feel heavy, a few more minutes of prayer or meditation. The second part of recovery is active recovery, the number 1 habit here being walking, making sure you're getting a minimum of 8,000 steps per day or more, which will also help you manage stress better and therefore also improve your sleep. At the end of the day, the hard part isn't so much knowing what to do. You can almost chat GPT your way through that. The hard part is sticking to the process when you're already stretched thin, when work, family, and everyone else's needs put your needs at the bottom of the list. This is where step-to-step guidance, a clear plan, and accountability come into play. Therefore, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, make sure you fill in the form below in the topic comment and the description of this video. Make sure you check out our next video that you'll find up here if you're watching this in the near future. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed and you've turned on that notification bell. And until next time, keep on training.